Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this very special episode of the Unscripted podcast by Islam 21C. We're delighted to be joined by this world-renowned Nasheed superstar, mashallah. We're joined today by Zain Bik. I loved your song Mountains of Makkah.
Omar Esa, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Don't leave me hang, bro.
Oh, it's a handshake, yeah? I thought it was a...
Leave me hanging, bro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We are joined today by our brother Omar Esa. This is Islam 21C Unscripted podcast. I'm your host, Salman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to everyone listening at home. This is Umer Suleman, the regular attendee.
Even if they're listening in their car.
Yeah, true.
Anywhere else.
Aye, or at home.
So Omar,
Yes.
how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
You came all the way from West London.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
West side.
How was the journey here?
It was good. It's always difficult to get to East London, but alhamdulillah, I got here.
Tell me about it. It takes me 2 hours in the morning.
Oh, God.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's just East London.
Getting to
I
Burj
feel
Al
for you, bro.
Hamlets.
Yeah.
You know.
It's easier to get to Luton.
Yeah.
Don't
I
know
wouldn't
why
mind
you
that much, but East London, I'm sorry, it's just not a nice place. No offense to anyone who lives in East London.
No comment.
I mean, out of solidarity with the East Londoners, it's not like I'm attacking or anything, but it's a really dirty place, like neglected by the government, probably because of racism and Islamophobia. And once I was walking down the street, and literally I saw a toilet just sitting there, like a fully intact toilet.
Really?
Yeah, I was seriously, like, people just chuck stuff in the street. This is the first time I saw a toilet.
Talking crap.
I didn't use it, no. I mean, I didn't want to test it. It looked a bit used anyway, but anyway.
Thanks for
it's
that.
not nice.
Wicked, bro. Nice upbeat start to our podcast. Yeah.
It's okay, we're just warming up the mic.
Was there a link about singing in the bathroom?
Yes, why not?
Yeah.
Do you sing in the bathroom?
No.
Good. Actually, I like what, mashallah, Omar Esa, you have lots of Nasheeds specially targeted for young people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kids, also known as kids. My kids love them.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. I downloaded loads of your stuff on Apple Music.
Alhamdulillah.
I don't know if it benefits you. I just did it because of the free trial.
No, you do get a little bit of money.
Okay, that's good.
Bit, yeah.
So
He's blagging it, bro. He's blagging it.
I didn't download it illegally. Completely legal download Apple Music, but it's like £20 a month. So I just did the free trial.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff's haram there anyway, so there's no point. How can your fans or listeners buy your stuff in a way that benefits you most without benefiting Apple?
To be honest with you, it's really on iTunes, and there's also a place where I've got my albums on Azhar Academy, Academy, and also NasheedChannel.com.
Yeah.
But everyone takes a cut, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So wherever's easier for you, I'm everywhere. Alhamdulillah, online anyway.
And if you want to listen to it for free, just YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, YouTube. Actually, funny story. Actually, I was in South Africa, and I was walking down in Johannesburg.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't see Zain Bik. And what happened was a guy came up to me and he started selling CDs, and he was selling CDs. So what have you got then? And he showed me stuff, and he showed me a CD with my face on it, and I looked at him and went, "What are you doing?" And then I turned it around. All my tracks were there. And then I looked at the guy with me and went, "Is this guy pranking me? Did you send him to me?" He went, "No, he's not." And then the guy started going, "This guy's amazing. You should buy it." No. And I put it next to my face and went, "This is me, bro." And he was like, "Oh." And then I did buy it off him. And then he had one track on it which had music on it, which I got really angry about, and it wasn't my track.
Astaghfirullah.
So he tried to ruin my reputation.
There's a couple of things there actually, like pick up with you. Salman referred to most of the people who listen to you as your fans. Do you refer to them as that as well, or how do you?
Yeah, I corrected myself. I didn't want to.
Yeah, supporters, I guess. Supporters of my Nasheed, yeah.
Okay, mashallah.
The reason I brought it up because I remember in one of your Nasheeds, the kids ones about how to make wudu.
Yeah.
This is how we make wudu.
Yeah.
And he's like, but don't say Bismillah in the toilet, kids. That was a good thing. I was getting worried in it. I was like, wait a second, where did this start?
What if they're out in the middle of East London?
Yeah. And they just come and happen upon a toilet.
That'll be a problem.
Now, the other thing I want to say, actually, alhamdulillah, in the opening minutes, you've actually come across quite strongly on your opposition to music, and what completely, don't like music at all. What's your kind of view on it?
So personally, I love music. So I don't listen to it anymore, but I used to be a musician. I had 3 guitars, I had a piano, and every day for me is a struggle, to be very honest with you. Every day. I mean, everyone here has got their own personal thing you struggle with. Yeah. My thing's music. So the devil's constantly whispering, just go back to music. Why are you wasting your time with Muslims? I've got friends as well who tell me, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just come and do music? Because I was doing well. When I wasn't in the music game.
Kind of bit. Can you tell us your background? Because I think I've heard stuff that you used to be an R&B singer.
Yeah, so basically before 2011, I used to be an R&B pop singer, and I was signed by. I wasn't signed. I was with a manager whose previous artist used to be Maxi Priest.
Maxi Priest.
Yeah.
Any songs Salman may have heard of?
Probably all of them. When he said Maxi Priest, that means he was a fan of him, obviously, back in the day.
Maxi Imam, as he's known now. Maxi Imam, as he's known now.
He's our cameraman now.
Yeah.
So that was it. So basically what happened was I was played on all major radio stations, BBC One Extra, Kiss FM, Choice, which is...
Sunrise Radio.
Not actually Sunrise Radio, actually.
Okay.
Brit Asia,
didn't quite reach the top.
Yeah, I didn't get there quite that big yet. So everything was going.
Actually, you got a better chance now of getting to Sunrise Radio than you did before.
Probably.
Yeah. Allah provides.
Yeah. So it was that. So what happened was that everything was going well, and just as I was going, just when, see, the thing is, I wasn't practicing. My mother and father were practicing, alhamdulillah. And my mum used to always tell me that Allah's watching you, Umer. Allah's watching you. I wasn't practicing the deen of Islam, but I was. You could say I believed in God. So when I was going to performances in these places where I perform, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me for it. I mean, I didn't used to feel right. It was gradually coming a stage where I was getting more known by the underground DJs, all the DJs in the kind of music game, but I was feeling less and less content. And I thought, what is this weird feeling I'm going through? So I kind of that's the kind of transition. I left in 2011. And when I left, actually, my manager called me and said, the biggest DJ on BBC wants to interview you. Because he had just playlisted one of my tracks. Because with BBC, you have to get playlisted. It's an ABC playlist. And I was playlisted on the B list. So for somebody who was an independent artist, that's huge. So he wanted to interview me. And I said to my manager, I go, I'm not doing it anymore. So my manager's, funny enough, my manager is a Christian, but his mum is a Muslim and his dad's a Hindu. So he just obviously wasn't happy with another religion, and he became a Christian. And when I told him I started practicing, he started noticing I started growing a beard. And he goes, you know what, to be honest with you, I started noticing a change in you. And I went, yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I was going to leave music completely. And then my friend goes, what are you going to do? And that's the only thing I can do.
Was it like just one day you woke up and you say, no,
it was a gradual thing. So whenever I was going into the studio and performing, I was feeling really down.
Something in your heart.
Yeah, it's a jeep. Like now I know it's obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guiding me back to the deen.
Probably the dua of your parents, man.
Yeah.
That's
my mum was always making dua for me. She always used to say to me, Umar, Allah is watching you. Allah is watching you. And then that kind of thing. And then when I left, my friend goes to me, what are you going to do? And I went, I don't know, bro. Like, I was literally, I don't know anything. I can't do anything else but come up with melody. You can give me anything right now and I'll sing it to you. I can do that.
All right. 1 second.
I can literally sing anything.
Do you think, while he's finding something for you to sing about, do you think it was because of the lifestyle that was connected to specifically R&B music? Say, for example, you'd been, I don't know, say a Qawwali singer or something, right? Allah. Right. You'd been like you'd be like a Qawwali singer or like, one of these, ghazal singers or something, let's just say, right? Would there have been the same aversion from your family or yourself even, do you think? Or is it because of the lifestyle that's so strongly attached to
hip-hop, R&B? There's a lot of arrogance, a lot of
It was
negative.
arrogance. It was arrogance. The thing is that I was never raised to be arrogant. My mum and dad, humble, alhamdulillah, they taught us manners. I was the kind of guy that would open the door for somebody if they were behind me. Just my mum taught us these things, and don't eat before, when you go to someone's house, even if you're hungry, just say you're good. You're full. And that was very difficult for me. When you're a kid,
Omar and I haven't mastered yet.
We'll walk through the door if you open it.
The fridge.
Yeah.
So it was that arrogance thing. In the music game, you have to think you're the best and the baddest thing to walk this earth. And it just wasn't me, really. I had cornrows.
Yeah,
cornrowed.
I think I've seen.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that picture.
Yeah, my ear was pierced and all that kind of stuff. So,
but the cornrows, they look kind of good though.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'll get it now, but my hair's too short.
That's fine, man.
No, alhamdulillah. I think it's amazing that it was something in your parents. Allah Azza wa Jalla's love for you brought you away from that. And I think it's important to recognize that. And there's probably a lot of people who are in a difficult situation now. Maybe they're going through their own challenges and they can't see that. But it wasn't easy. I get you were saying.
I struggle with it to this day. I've been out of it now since 2011. And every day, during the day, it will come to me to go back to music.
Really?
Yeah, every day. And my producer's a Christian Arab. So when I go into his studio, there's guitars, pianos everywhere.
Is it the lure of just making a song, or is it playing an instrument, or is it the life that you kind of had before?
I think, to be very honest with you, when I do get that feeling of going back, the biggest thing that comes to me is, Omar, this is what the voice that comes to me, right? Omar, if you were doing music right now, you would be much more bigger than what you are. It's that kind of aspect of Muslims don't even appreciate what you do.
Oh, right. Okay.
That kind of, because the thing is that when I do a cover, Muslims fall over themselves for it.
Yeah.
But as an artist, I want to give you my original content.
Yeah.
So I do covers simply for marketing purposes, because I don't have a budget. I'm an independent artist. No one's ever given me money, ever. Only Allah's helped me to where I am today. Alhamdulillah. And I've never had, the only record label out there is an instrument record-based label. I'm not going to say their name, but they're instrument-based, and they wouldn't ever sign me because I don't use. I'm not their ideology. Regardless of if they think my stuff's good, my ideology is completely different to them.
And was that something from day dot when you kind of left music and you started entering into the Nasheed space, that you were going to do it without instruments?
Yeah.
Or was it that you find out afterwards actually, instruments can be used, or how was that transition?
I started doing my research. When I started practicing. So what happened when I started practicing, I found out about the instruments. I'm a very, very black and white guy. Like, as soon as I heard that the Prophet Muhammad said there's these things that my ummah will make halal, which are haram, and I saw that, and I saw other examples of whenever music came around him, he'd cover his ears. I was like, listen, I love him, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so I'm just going to follow him. I don't really, with all due respect to all the scholars who say it's allowed, that's cool, you can have your opinion, all the best, but I try to follow my Allah and his Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
I noticed that I know a few brothers who were very deeply embedded in the music industry, and they're the ones who are most anti-music now. A lot of them. Like, I don't know if because you've seen firsthand.
I know what it is.
The lifestyle it brings, the psychological effects it has on you. I heard somewhere that you did psychology of music.
I studied in university music, and music is something that is actually it's a system by the mainstream kind of record labels to literally be in your psyche. They will write songs which your children will sing, that you won't even know that you're singing. I mean, I'm sure everyone's done it. When you walk through a shop and you hear something, you're like, oh God, where did that come from? And you go, I was there.
Baby Shark, do, do, do.
Baby Shark, yeah.
Oh, that is so annoying, man. Bloody hell, why did you put that in my head?
Even my kid, he came across it once, I had to quickly stop it. It's very, very catchy.
Earworm, I think it's called.
Try and forget it, innit? Think daddy finger. Right.
Oh, my kid loves that one as well,
man.
I've actually had to do a Muslim version with my son.
Is it? How's it go?
Oh, it's to be honest with you, it's the same thing.
Baba ungli, kiteo.
It's the same thing, but without instruments, to be honest with you.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And I mean, I've got a theory about music, why it was prohibited. And I've spoken to some mashayikh as well, that it's not like some weird esoteric thing out there. And that it actually falls under the same category of prohibitions as alcohol and intoxicants, because it prevents you, it takes away your aql basically, it takes away your ability to make your own choices, and it influences you in ways you don't realize.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
like imagine if you just watch something you thought was powerful and emotional, like an advert or something, and just watch it without the audio, it'll look silly.
Yeah, exactly.
Why it's not affecting me at all anymore?
You're right.
I think that is part of the reason, Allahu Alam, the wisdom behind. I mean, wisdoms, you can talk about any wisdom. A lot of good consequences. That's the wisdom of any ruling. Right. But one of the, I think, core wisdoms, in my opinion, is that it takes away your own agency, your own ability to choose, make rational decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
Because in infancy, you'll never see an advert without music.
Yeah, of course.
Because I want to encourage you to buy something. You remember, a lot of people just remember any advert.
Yeah.
You know that you've got.
It's true. It's very powerful. Music's very powerful.
But yeah, it's also therapeutic though. On the flip side, people find that it calms them.
Yeah.
Not anymore actually, because the music now is based on a frequency of 440 hertz.
Okay.
And what happened was
I was about to say that.
in the 40
Of course you was.
in the 40s they changed that frequency. It used to be 432, which Beethoven and Mozart used to kind of play their instruments on, and they changed it to 440. And what happened was there's studies being done on it, and when a Japanese scientist did a study on it, he basically put a tool like in water, and the sound around it was 440 hertz, and when he came back to it the next day, it was black. The water had become like muddy.
Really?
Yeah, and then he did the same thing with 432, and it made beautiful patterns. What they know is 432 is our normal kind of energy, because we all have energy fields in our body. So obviously, I haven't really looked at it that much, but you know when you're in the music game and you hear about it, and when you actually sit there, and I did it with my producer, I said, do 440 for me, and do 40. Wallahi, I felt something different.
No way.
Yeah, wallahi, it makes you feel different.
Even different types of music, this is just the hertz. So for example,
Everybody, industry standard is 440. So if you got an Apple Logic, which is a software for music, everything's set up at 440 hertz.
So this is irrespective of the type. Say it could be, say, garage music, or
anything.
Oh, really?
Anything, because it's just the hertz. It's the frequency of what the instrument is tuned to.
Wow.
That is mad.
Yeah.
And there's this thing now, isn't it, about digital music versus like vinyl? That now digital music is all, it's not real, the sound. Have you heard anything like this before? Vinyl?
I've obviously heard some people speak about it, but I don't personally.
Could be just kind of nostalgia, isn't it? People are like,
no, they're saying it's something to do
days.
with the way that we receive the music. Now it's all digital. It's
I remember, just reminding me,
it's to do with the frequency, actually. Maybe that's what they were referring to, actually.
Maybe.
I think Ibn Rushd, a scholar in like, I don't remember which area it was from, but they said that he like wrote a massive compendium about music.
Okay.
And he was like into it, right? He was like not a Mu'tazili, but like a philosopher. And they said with his oud, I think it's just a flute or something, they said he could make an audience cry and then make them laugh and then make them scared and then make them really change their... So there's some level of
you can do it. Well, even if you look at Hollywood and their biggest kind of composer, Hans Zimmer, right?
Yeah.
He can do that. Like he can put you through a body state where you will cry, you will laugh throughout a whole movie, and it's not based on the acting. It's based, especially when a sad scene comes, they'll hit you with those kind of the kind of monotone kind of sound, a minor key, which will get you down. Major keys, what makes you happy. So there's a science behind all of this.
Imagine Jaws without the. Honestly, that music.
I don't watch films, bro.
Not now. Just starring them. Without that music, honestly, that music alone, if I see water and I think of that music's so powerful, man. Innit?
Oh, no.
It's true.
Yeah. That scarred you for life. You're a young little lad then, innit?
Alright,
I'm just connecting my phone to this thing. I'm going to play some tracks.
guess that tune.
Just little guess that tune. Did
Hello.
Alright, you ready?
Are you ready, London?
Okay. Guess this tune, yeah?
Oh, it's the Prophets.
Very good. Sung by none other than
Zain Bik.
Cut that out.
Yeah. As you can see, this.
I want to put the bit on from the middle of the song too.
Do I have to mention the guy's name?
If you want.
It's Maher Zain.
Yeah.
What song?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that song. I just recognise his voice. It's Allah Ya Allah Kia.
Yes, mashallah.
I've done my own version of that.
Really?
Yeah, go on, sing us a bit of your version, bro.
It's exactly this. It was still, the
You can't
chorus.
tell
Is
him to
exactly,
sing something, man. Like
the chorus
like
is exactly the same as it
It's
said.
better though. It's really,
No, the chorus is exactly the same, I guess. Oh, that's actually one of my favourite nasheeds.
yeah.
No beats necessary. How can you deny?
Mashallah, brother.
Remember
Oh, wait.
Abdullah Rowe? He
Yeah.
was really good. He doesn't do anything anymore, does he?
He does.
Does he still?
Yeah, he just does more kind of like corporate kind of things, like audios and You know, he actually did. He told me this. He did the backing for that film that came out about Mecca. The film.
Oh, One Day in Mecca.
I think so. Yeah. One. Okay. Yeah, he did all the kind of soundtrack for that.
All right, here's one.
That's definitely me. But I don't know
what song.
I don't. Oh yeah, Tera Pyar.
Is that backtracked?
Mashallah.
Is that backtracked, Salman?
Huh?
It sounded like it was backtracked.
I don't know what that means.
And then you play it backwards, and it says stuff.
Come
to my Matai shop in Ealing. Come to my Matai shop in Ealing when you play it backwards. Mere laddu khrido.
His stuff is good messages, isn't it?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. That is a good message, bro.
It's like, don't forget to pray your salah.
Do you ever hear that from the Shadows? Have you heard that legendary tape? There's a tape here called From the Shadows.
Okay.
And a lot of that stuff is really like out there, though, man. Like if you play a record backwards, some satanic messages.
Yeah.
But if you're expecting something, you'll hear that, man.
Yeah. I don't really believe in that kind of stuff.
Do you think that the music industry, the normal music industry, is shaitani on purpose, or is it a consequence?
I think the shaitan is obviously very cunning, and he knows how to kind of manipulate people. I give one example I give to people is hip hop. Yeah. When hip hop started around the 70s or 80s, it started as a movement for people. Today, hip hop is all about strip clubs, alcohol, and drugs.
Yeah.
So you can tell what music is, and music is something that is a big part of the youth kind of existence now. Unfortunately, where they're very, 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 very hard influenced by it. You know, so then you can see that obviously the shaitan knew what he was doing. You know,
when you started doing Nasheeds and stuff, did you get a lot of flack from like?
I still get flack.
Practicing Muslims.
I get flack. Yeah, from practicing Muslims. Yeah,
what practicing Muslims.
See, my kind of thing is that the practicing Muslims will call me a Sufi, and the Sufis called me a Salafi. So I'm
that's a good space to be in.
Just because of not from the music itself.
Do Nasheeds, and he's a bit of a loose kind of a character. Muslim guy singing. Shouldn't put that voice on and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what voice is my voice?
Really?
So yeah, so I mean, I don't know what I'm in limbo. Really? Well, according to them.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be if like everyone's claiming the other guy.
I think that the sad thing is that when I respect the people who use music, they're my Muslim brothers, right? And I respect them as my brothers, but we have that difference, and I find it a bit strange that some of them do get really upset with me
for not using music.
Yeah,
you know what I think it is.
Yeah,
if I may say, and I'm not imputing any words in your mouth, but it's because they have probably that discomfort.
Yeah, you know what
that you recognized.
Yeah.
And
I feel like sometimes I'm like I'm not like I've got many flaws, right? But I feel like I'm sometimes their conscience. Does that make sense? So when they look at me, they're like, this guy, like so that kind of aspect is cool. I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if they use their talent without instruments, they'd be wicked, man.
And a lot of the creativity is born out by just some of these restrictions. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at even musical instruments from different parts of the world, because they, maybe lack of materials or whatever, they had to innovate. They had to come up with new ideas.
Yeah.
To do something creative. Likewise, if you just accept, right, I'm not going to use musical instruments, then it gives you the impetus to look for something creative, which is halal.
Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes me, subhanAllah, when I'm in the studio, I come up with things, and my producer's a musician. He's a Christian Arab, and he looks at me and goes, how do you think of this stuff? I go, listen, it's from Allah. And I go, look, I'm boxed in a corner, so I have to fight my way out of this corner and try to give Muslims something which they can say, indeed, this is a substitute to music.
Alhamdulillah.
So you get flack from the kind of people that use music, and you get flack from people who are anti-music.
Yeah.
What do they say? The anti-music guys? You don't really don't really use music.
No, I think they're just against me singing. I think they might not like my voice. I don't know. But I think it's more so is the covers. They don't like the fact that they go, "How did you hear that cover?"
I just heard it once when I was walking down the street. I wasn't listening.
I heard it.
They do have a point though.
I heard from a guy. No, with Hello, I swear down, Allah is my witness, I never heard Hello.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Let's try that again.
Hello. Yeah, with Hello, I never to this day haven't listened to it from beginning to end.
Really?
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Your own song?
I know, I've heard that many times.
I heard some woman called Adil or something copied you, man.
Yeah, no.
Who's that?
You might want to use some.
I don't know.
Do some. She said she copied you.
It's
Adele or Adil or something.
Adil. Yeah, she lives in Pakistan.
But I was going to say, you know, with even the whole Nasheed kind of scene, now there's some people who claim to be Nasheed artists, and I'm saying this quite, watching my words when I say this, and what they claim on Nasheeds are very far from, I think, what we knew as Nasheeds a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right, now it's just...
That's because what you knew as Nasheed was all about the...
There are different sorts of Nasheeds. Like classically, we always taught that Nasheeds are something that you either sing when you're on a journey, or if you're going out, fi sabilillah, or on wedding celebration. These
Like
types
on
of
Jamaat.
things. Yeah, on Jamaat. There was sort of Jamaats
In the path of Allah.
Aye, right. So there's these types of Nasheeds now, as opposed to just kind of from there the journey. And I remember in sort of the early 2000s, there was one quite prolific sort of Nasheed artist that kind of made it a lot more mainstream, and a lot of articles were written about him. Then there was the Nasheed concerts, and then now you've got a lot of young people coming in, and they call themselves pop artists, and they kind of taking the young Muslim crowd through using Nasheeds as a sort of hook, and then introducing them to the other type of music. And it seems to be more and more prevalent, where they just want to be known as music stars.
I think the thing is that one thing I always say to people is that you can cheat the people, but you can't cheat Allah. So they can do whatever they want, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in their heart. So I'm completely against, again, I respect them, but I'm against instruments, and I'm against beatboxing. Yeah, because beatboxing I'm against, because it's cheesy, that's just a personal kind of thing. And secondly, it's called beatboxing, for goodness sake. It actually says what it is in the tin, what it says in back of the tin. So I just feel that, come on, man, you don't need to do it. If I can do it, and I'm not the most talented guy in the world, if I can do it, you can do it. You can always find ways to come and do it.
If you're a beatboxer, then there's not much you can do.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about the singers, right? I'm talking about the singers.
There goes my side job, man.
Yeah, butt boxer. That's his name
I knew
butt boxer.
Hello. Man, I keep messing this up. All right.
You had to quickly change that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know a friend. I have a friend who is amazing at beatboxing.
Okay.
Mashallah. Rashad Z.
Yeah.
Like he'd be invited to concerts and everything, and he'd be doing like, even now when I call him, I'm like, hello. But once we were in practice, he gave it all up.
Oh.
I was like, why?
Wow.
But he was like, he knows more. Like I said, people who are in the industry.
Yeah.
They know more about this stuff from like us from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
And he was really impressive. He never used to use any looping things, and just one man, one voice.
Wow,
like
some of these guys are really amazing, man.
Reward them, man.
I mean, I was going to say this. Do you feel a sense of responsibility being in that industry? Like, do you feel it's like your cause to try and direct, as much as you can, Allah facilitate and Allah give you tawfiq?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, as I said in the beginning, every day, when I think to myself, I literally just go through this motion every day. That's it, I'm done. I'm going back. And what happens is then something just happens in a weird way, and it's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most just and the most kind, and I feel that it is my duty, inshallah, to give the Muslims an option. And ultimately the goal is that get rid of minor sheets as well, and just listen to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the kind of the best thing to listen to, right? But unfortunately, we live in a time where people are consumed by music, movies, games, and everything. And I believe that we Muslims should start respecting art. And when we start respecting art and investing in it, we will see that we will be able to change a demo. Look at this kind of thing that people watch now about this. Yeah, I don't watch it because there's music in it. That's quite basic with that, and it's also got subtitles. I've got no time to read that. But lots of Muslims love that, right?
Listen to that, Mr. Cameraman.
It's a big thing, man.
Yeah, people love it. Yeah, people love it. Now imagine if we had more shows like that without the kind of the instrument aspect. Man. What kind of influence people have,
You know, I mean, I remember Sheikh Haytham once said in a program, I think you were there, he goes, bros, I don't want you all to become just mini copies of Sheikh Haytham. I.e. Dawa needs to be dynamic. You need people in arts, you need people, Muslim comedians or filmmakers or all this type of stuff. That's why I really kind of don't want to say this to your face, but anyone, to all the haters, you need to realize that the Dawa is not just, one dimension. You have to have people involved in arts. You have to have people involved in,
bakery,
writing novels, not baking cakes, maybe, I don't know, but get a shout out to your favorite pastime here. But we need the big budget blockbuster films.
Yeah,
we do, because look, if we have aspirations, inshallah, that we will see a time when Allah Azza wa Jall's law is implemented in a way that it facilitates His justice. Then for people, let's be honest, not everyone's going to suddenly switch off from their everyday lives and become people who are only worshipping Allah, only going to the masjid, only reading Quran. There is a void that's going to be there. And how do we actually cater for people? Islam has a rich history of the arts. If we talk about calligraphy and even the arts in terms of painting and mashallah, beautiful building. But there's also in history in terms of entertainment. And it's finding that space in a halal way that we can entertain people. Sheikh gives us examples of weddings. Like sometimes if you go to like an up-now wedding, honestly, it's pretty depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's either going to be very depressing or there's going to be some
disco going on.
Exactly, disco, shishko.
We don't do like half. We don't do like half measures.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We don't do like moderation. We're either complete jahil or have no fun at all.
Yeah, but
just how do eat and leave.
Yeah. How do we find that balance? And it's good because I think you're kind of that tipping point where the Muslim community is growing, it's finding its feet as well, and trying to find its space in a halal way.
Yeah.
And people make some mistakes along the way, but as long as we're understanding of that and we understand where we're going to, then we as a community need to invest really,
absolutely,
in these spaces, in the social sciences, in the arts, etc. Because when you
always reminds me of Hassan ibn Thabit radiallahu anh. He is well known as he was the poet of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wasn't like a fighter. They said even when he would hold a sword, his hand would shake. But that doesn't mean he wasn't used. His talent or his calling was in poetry, in countering the Qurayshi propaganda against Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu would say to him, stand and Jibreel is standing with you. Subhanallah. Go, Jibreel is standing with you, recite your poetry. And that, I'm not saying like you're the same as him, but that's someone you can aspire to.
Of course.
That's like a role model. If you're a bit tough and you're a fighter or whatever, you can aspire to Khalid ibn Walid. If you're a businessman, you can aspire to Uthman ibn Affan. If you're a creative type of person, you can aspire to Hassan ibn Thabit radiallahu anh. That was his part. That was his role in the.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think
that's worse than saying jihad. Just cut that out. That was his role in the jihad.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, even you think now about comedians, their ability to give across a message is unequaled when it comes now. We sometimes put somebody who's a scholar or someone who's a community spokesman, right? And whereas you have a comedian and they can deliver that message in a much better way to a non-Muslim audience about some very hard-hitting topics.
Yeah.
And that delivery, we
need
it's a gap.
Principled Muslim celebs, basically. Like I was talking to another brother, a sheikh, and we were discussing Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah. How he had cultural capital. Professor Sherman Jackson said about him. I think he did the speech on his janazah. He was someone who, he impacted so many people. Because of his fame, because of his personality and his work. They said anywhere in the world you drop him, people would recognize him. He was the most recognizable character.
He was an icon.
He
was an icon. Yeah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to spread the deen or the public appearance of the deen through people like him. He had, and arguably he did maybe more work for Allah's deen than maybe a lot of people who are maybe doing something what they think is a rigid kind of understanding of da'wah.
Absolutely.
Not to put them down or anything. Everything is important, but
of course, I agree with you. I think everyone's got their place. I always say to people when I go to events, I say, look, you as a Muslim have a duty. Whatever you do, you're a lawyer. You have a duty for your da'wah is through your work, through your actions.
Free Salman.
Alhamdulillah. So anything that you do, and I said, look, I'm standing here right now, and my duty is to give you, your children, and everybody an option, inshallah, that you can say, we don't have to listen to music. We can listen to this brother. And, you know, and that's the kind of aspect. And all the brothers who do music, they're so talented, mashallah, tabarakallah, right? And the love that I have for them is genuinely that I wish that we could all work together. I wish that we could create a kind of a Nasheed chart system where we're competing with each other, because I believe competition is important. Okay. So, you know, coming together, and we can create such an industry that then automatically the non-Muslims will be like, what are these guys like? This is we need to be involved in this, you know. And that's what always happens when something becomes successful. Then everyone wants to be involved, but it will only be successful if we do it, one, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we stick to our principles, man. We don't follow our own desires. You know, I want to go out to music every day. I say to people, but I'm fighting it. You know, tomorrow's another day. But I'm fighting it, you know.
I say, Sheikh says, you know, a lot of people jump on the boat when it's already sailing, but only a few people will be the ones pushing it out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what would you say to the brothers and sisters maybe involved in Nasheeds that use music? Do you have like talk to the camera and give them a heartfelt message?
I was,
you know, put a nice little humming backtrack over.
You know, I just it's the kind of thing that. That's a minor key. That's actually quite harsh. That would be more of a kind of stop doing your music. You know, that's that kind of thing. So that's better. So Mario, my kind of thing would be, look, man, look, we're all finding our way, and just know that you're super talented without that beatboxing and the instruments, and because we can hear it in your voice. So, you know, come this way, inshallah. Even if you don't fully leave it, come, let's have a chat, let's talk, let's work together. You know, let's not use the instruments, and let's work together. And that's.
Would you be open to joining making a little Nasheed halal boy band?
It depends who it would be.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn.
Will you be the beatboxer?
Some people, you know, just saying, like, you know.
Some people like to stretch.
You could probably do the nut stuff.
Can we do the look like the proper boy?
I've even got a name for it.
Really?
I mean, this is copyrighted, yeah.
With 2 Umers and Salman.
Yeah. No strings necessary. No. Start again. No strings attached. Yeah, that's the one.
Flop.
It's a good one, isn't it?
That's a good one. That's actually a good
the
one,
other one was no beats necessary. That was thingy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
no
good
strings
one.
attached.
That's good.
You want it?
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Call my agent. Peter Omar Suleman.
Hi. In the last few years, actually, I've seen a lot more about spoken word, which seems to be mainstream and quite crossover. And you'll find that it's not kind of within the Muslim space, and a lot of Muslims, mashallah, they've been quite good at it.
Yeah.
Have you done any spoken word?
No.
How is this like? How does spoken word differ to just say normal poetry, or is it just?
It's probably the same thing, to be honest with you, but they just obviously do it with a kind of a dynamic. They're changing their voice here and there, and when they're doing the spoken word.
It's powerful.
It is powerful. Yeah. And they don't. Lots of them don't even use, you know, backing vocal, and they're so powerful. That actually proves the kind of theory you don't really need. You know,
could work with them. Maybe get writers to write material, and you can sing it.
Yeah. You know, for me at the moment, it's because I write. At the moment, I'm writing. I still feel that I'm still new, if that makes sense. I'm still trying to find my way. I'm very ambitious in what I do, so I feel that I'm still challenging myself and still finding the kind of sound. So lots of people do speak to me about writing for me, but I feel that I have to write my stuff at the moment to kind of connect with it, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I've worked with quite a few brothers who spoke about, like Muslim Bilal. Another brother I'm going to be working with soon is a brother Liam. I call him brother Liam, to be honest with you. I don't know what his kind of artist name is. Annotate. But Liam is
the brother Noel's brother.
Oh yeah, Noel Gallagher. That'd be a good one to work with.
I was going to ask you actually,
with their Islamic name.
I should actually do Wonderwall.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what your kind of broad long-term vision is. Where do you see, you know, what's your end goal if you're going to kind of, not end goal, but your vision basically? What you must have some kind of ambition.
Yeah, my ambition is really big. It's really huge. Like when I say it to my wife looks at me and goes, wow, that's a big thing to think. But I say to her, look, I have Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything. So, it's basically conquering the world.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
I should check it. It's kind of like having the aspect of even being in the minor sheets being in the mainstream world too. That where people listen to it and they go, you know, this guy, he's an artist, and you know, he talks about his creator, you know, and I've seen the impact I have when I perform in front of non-Muslims.
Yeah.
When I film videos outside, wallahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. I'll always get people stopping, and I'm singing because we're filming, and they'll go, oh, that's really, really powerful. And I'm actually saying alhamdulillah, I'm saying this, and they don't have a clue what I'm saying. Some stuff is even in Urdu, and they're like, it just felt, I just connected with it, you know.
Urdu is powerful, it's deep language.
It's a deep language, like Arabic, mashallah.
So your aim is to compete with the big boys?
Inshallah ta'ala, inshallah.
The mainstream charts?
Inshallah, but obviously not to obviously compromise my religion. Inshallah.
Allah keep you steadfast. That's a big, good ambition.
It is, definitely. And I think it's, sometimes we have the, paucity of not thinking big, and we restrict ourselves. And if we don't think big, we're never going to achieve anything big.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of work in Islamic finance, and when you start talking about it on a principle basis, the non-Muslims listen, because when you get rid of the labels, fundamentally, if you're calling to something good, then it resonates with people's fitrah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the downside of the ambition is the problem of fame. Because that is a huge fitna for many people, for every human being, right?
Yeah. The kind of thing is that maybe I didn't explain it correctly with this said, I want mainstream. For me, it's important to know that if I can create a halal industry, inshallah, and even if I'm not there and I've just created it, and then all of a sudden you've got actors, you've got singers, you've got poets, you've got directors, you've got, this, and we're doing stuff where we're matching the mainstream.
Yeah.
That is a goal. That's the bigger goal. Like create an industry, inshallah, where we can have dramas, we can have films, we can have, all this kind of stuff. And we are doing it in the way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't have to compromise our religion. We don't have to do something because people won't watch it. They don't watch it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it get to that kind of stage,
How do you have a system or a plan how to...
I do have a plan.
How to cope with fame, how to deal with it, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, you probably get recognized in the street. I know Omar always does,
Mashallah.
How do you deal with fame?
By running away from the people chucking stuff at me. Not famous at all, bro.
How do you deal with it? And you must...
do you feel that, as in, do you recognize, is there a level of self-awareness? Not that you see yourself like that, but you must appreciate that people recognize you're in the public space. You're a personality, alhamdulillah.
Because if you don't, then it will just creep up on you and you won't be ready for it.
No, for me, I'm not going to lie. Back in the day, I was even now, I've got a big ego. To be very honest with you, I'm going to be honest. I'm an artist, so I will always want to be the best at. When I release a track, I want it to be the best. But what I do now is there's to the nearest meaning. There was a story of someone came to Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, and he said to him, you're amazing. All said nice things to him, and he turned away and he said, oh Allah, to the nearest meaning, forgive me, for what he doesn't know about me, and make me better than what he thinks of me. That makes sense. And when I go to events, I'll leave quickly. I don't stay at events. I kind of go there, do my performance, and leave, simply for the fact is that if people come to me, it will affect me, and if people don't come to me, it will affect me. So I'm fighting myself in all kinds of ways, and this is me. This is my nafs. I'm fighting with every day. So I try to just go away from it. So, and if people recognize me, it's a kind of a thing of, oh yeah, alhamdulillah. It's weird because it happens now. It happens often now, alhamdulillah. But I've lived life. If I wrote a book about my life, I've seen a lot of things, subhanAllah. So it's that kind of aspect of just always asking Allah to, please Allah, protect me. Please keep me on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Please keep me on the straight path. And that's the kind of goal.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's a constant battle. It's a constant battle.
Yeah, I mean, one good thing is, one good way of dealing with it is having friends around you that will just completely mercilessly take you out all the time.
Oh, my friends always do that. My friends are ruthless. When I play a new track, they'll literally look at me and go, yeah, it's all right. And you don't understand how that feels for somebody who's like, it's my baby, and they're like,
spent 12 hours doing this.
You played them with 3 minutes, and their concentration span is literally a minute, and they're like this. They're like,
can you afford it?
And they're like, and then you look at them and they're mobile. I'm like, yo, bro, don't do that, man. Listen to the track in it, and they're like, oh, whatever, man. And you're like, oh God, Allah sent me these evil friends.
It's good, man. It's good.
Keep you grounded.
If you even ever want me to, if you need someone to cuss you or anything, just give me a call.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to help.
Trust me, online, someone will say something to put me completely down to earth online anyway. So
does it affect you?
Online, you mentioned online, so you have also fame entering the digital space now, social media. You're on YouTube, Facebook, probably Twitter, Snapchat, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Text
how do you feel with? How do you deal with kind of fame in that sense? Because that could creep up on you as well.
Yeah, man, it's just dangerous, man. Like, it's dangerous. Online is just, social media is literally like,
it's like all the bad stuff about fame in real life just put into a concentrated form.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to somebody about it, and we were talking about kind of people who are Instagram famous. And he was like, bro, they're probably so delusional because they're just famous on Instagram, but they don't get booked for anything, but they just get a lot of likes and a lot of followers because they might be good looking, or they might, I don't know. And I was thinking to myself,
it's a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
He's good looking on radio.
I agree with you guys. Alhamdulillah.
Everyone always say I have a face for radio.
No. Yeah, good looking brother, mashallah.
Thank you. You're not bad in yourself.
Thank you.
May Allah make you more beautiful than you really are.
I mean, yes. Social media is dangerous, man. Social media is dangerous. When I wasn't a musician, I was actually not on social media.
Okay.
Just didn't need it.
Here's a question, actually.
It wasn't invented then.
No, I'm not that old.
Because alhamdulillah, you're kind of doing Nasheeds, which is an Islamic form of music, right?
Yeah.
Do you find suddenly that people treat you like a sheikh? Sounds like a weird question, but they have this perception of you now, and they'll come to you with other Islamic questions or problems. Yeah,
you know, the thing with social media for me is that I feel like sometimes it's people like put me on a pedestal. Like, I've got so many flaws. If you saw me, if you know me, you know that I've got so many things that I'm dealing with and asking Allah to protect me. Please, Allah, these people don't know me, and I will get criticized for everything online. I will put a picture up. I don't show my son, for example. I'll cover his face. I'll get criticized for it. Why don't you show him? And then there'll be the opposite of, for example, I don't show my wife. Why are you doing this for? So I get criticized for everything. And I literally sit back and I go, what? This is a mad test that I genuinely try to be please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't want to, go out my boundaries on social media, but Allah, I'm still getting criticized by these people. What do I do? And then there's people on social media who are doing all kind of madness. And they've got the biggest followings, right? And then you kind of look at that, and you, as a kind of a mature guy, you understand that, it's a trick of the shaitan, man. Don't let it get to you. Just keep pushing. But, to be honest with you, we're all susceptible to it. We all get affected by it. Everybody, no matter who you are here, you'll put a post on Facebook, and you'll probably deny it, but you want attention on it. Yeah, you want people to, you want the likes, because you get more likes, it gets more algorithm, gets that, out there.
Dopamine rush as well.
Sorry?
It's a dopamine rush as well.
Yeah. It affects you like kind of that kind of way as well. And social media is dangerous, man. It's dangerous. I wish that likes and subscription went away, in my opinion. And
how many likes do you have
on my Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean how many people follow me on Instagram?
I don't know what it's called.
Okay. I don't know. It's probably about over 30,000, I think. But I wish that all went away, because then we're all on a level playing field.
Only 29,500 more than me.
Instagram /Salman. In Lahore. There's a big butt clan in Lahore, about 499 of them.
There's loads of butts in Pakistan. I went to Pakistan a few months ago. My son was saying, "Mummy, why does it say butt everywhere?" On shops, butt ice cream, butt, motoring, butt.
What advice would you give to someone who's entering this space and all of the dangers that you've talked about, the nafs, the ego, trying to protect yourself from it, the social media element? Look, alhamdulillah, you still have something to give. We're saying like there's, from a finance perspective, there's some underlying value that you have, mashallah. You're not famous for the sake of being famous. But there's some people who just out there, they don't really bring any value and they're famous. But say somebody who's trying to enter this
sitting
world.
right here, bro. Come on.
Yeah. What advice would you give them?
Hadoukens left, right and centre.
What, people who actually people who actually have a talent?
Yeah, they're just starting at the beginning. They don't know they've got a talent. And they're kind of nurturing it. They want to get into this space.
Okay.
What advice would you give them?
Well, if they're doing Nasheeds, I'll firstly tell them, look, do your research, man. Like, don't use instruments. You don't have to. Don't use beatboxing. You don't have to. And my kind of thing would be just make sure that you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, you know what? I say this to my wife every day. I go, listen, if it wasn't for Allah, I'll be back in music. Because I don't I'm not trying to please the people. I'm trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then automatically, inshallah, the people will get pleased. If that makes sense. So the kind of aspect is that do it for the sake of, I get messages every other day. I want to be initiated. What do you advise? do it.
Bro, that was a private message, man. Sheesh. Come on. Cut it out.
Ask him off camera, yeah.
So it's that kind of aspect of just do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, man. Don't do it for any other reason. Know why you're doing it. And it's just genuinely that. Just do it. Be sincere, man. You can't cheat Allah. I remember there was a brother, a very talented brother out there.
Again, he's pointing at me, man.
Brother Salman, but he sent me some of his nasheeds.
The handsome devil.
You know, it was amazing nasheed. He sent me the track and he goes, brother, what do you think of it? He had a synthesizer on it, instrument. And I said to him, I went, brother, you are telling people online, because someone sent me the link, that there's no instruments on it. I'm a musician. I know you're using a synthesizer.
What's a synthesizer?
Synthesizer is basically like a synthesized instrument. So it's from the keyboard and it's made from an electronic sound, right? So you can make anything out of it.
44 kilohertz.
No, that's 40 hertz is a completely separate kind of thing. That's tuning of the instrument. But it's synthesizer. So
he uses his voice and then records it in
No, it's not his voice. It wasn't his voice. It was basically the keyboard, and it's basically an effect in the keyboard. It's a synthesizer. And he was telling people that it's his voice. So I know, because we're musicians and we know what sounds are. And lots of charity videos, actually Muslim, you know, like ones who disagree with instruments, they'll have instruments on it. So they'll have synthesized audio, and they're like, "This is a." I'm like, okay, wow, maybe someone should tell him it's not, you know, one of those ones. So he used it, and I said to him, and he didn't speak to me. He didn't reply back to me. Then a year later, he messaged me, and he said something. He was very, very polite and all that, and we started speaking to each other. And then literally a year later, again, it's just been that kind of vibe. I heard his track, and he's gone back to music. And I messaged him. I said to him, "Listen, bro, you know how talented you are. You don't need to do this, bro." And alhamdulillah, he messaged me back and he said, "Brother Omar, I will never ever use instruments again." And it's been a year now, he hasn't gone back to him, alhamdulillah. I believe he's one of the most talented guys out there. Yeah. You know, vocal only, beautiful brother.
Maybe you can join our boy band.
Yeah, only if you two join.
Yeah, we have to have a proper audition, don't it?
No, you're automatically in it, bro.
No, I mean for him.
Yeah. See if he can make the cut.
I heard he uses synthesizers, man. Well, can't be having any of that.
Alhamdulillah.
But you kind of took him off the topic. He was going through how many followers he has. So you said 30k on Instagram. You thought you got away with that, innit? Mm-hmm. How famous are you on Facebook?
On Facebook, what, friends page?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you not on social media?
I am. I have.
Yeah, about right.
I do have the odd couple of hundred followers myself. You know, not to brag or anything.
Both his friends posting it.
But you know, trying to keep it humble.
Yeah.
Fame. You know, that's the weird thing. Every time you Google Salman, but the Pakistani cricketer guy comes up on the first 10 pages.
I'll make it easy for you.
That's why it sounds a bit pretentious. I always tell people search for Dr. Salman, but at least I come up somewhere on the first page then.
Bro, I used to be right up there until this like scholar from the US came
what's
on.
What's his name again?
Yeah, Umar Suleman. Yeah, so I need to start charging him, bro. Like royalties, man. Living off the trademark.
But he spells it differently.
I met him once, and right in the beginning, before he was kind of like what he's, I guess he's kind of well known now. He's got really soft hands. Oh, I literally remember that when he shook my hand. Wow, I looked at him and went, "You got soft hands." Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Mashallah, he's a lovely.
I was in Lahore once, ages ago, and everyone started going, "Oh, Salman Bhatt's on the bus. Salman Bhatt's on the bus." And I got to my cousin. I was sitting next to him. I was like, people recognize you, innit? And it was Nick's, man. That broke my ego. Yeah, it was a cricketer.
He was on a bus?
Yeah, before it was on a coach.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's called Devo.
Oh, okay.
It's Dawa, but it's a proper nice coach service. You know?
What's the biggest conference or concert? Would you say
event I've done?
Yeah,
I did ICNA relief in America. 20,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
On Glastonbury?
No, not yet.
Would you do that if they were like, you know what, we've got to fulfill our diversity quota, we need a Muslimic, and
probably not.
Really? Even though no music?
I don't know. To be very honest with you, I highly doubt that's going to happen. But if it did happen, I don't really know if I would do it because of the environment of what kind of goes on there. You know, They always go on about the Notting Hill Carnival, but Glastonbury's far worse. But we know what that's.
It's just racism, innit?
Yeah.
And what's the smallest event you've done?
Other than this one.
A brother, his kid and his balloon.
Really?
Yeah, in Bradford.
How big was the balloon?
It's very small. Very small.
Did you know that when you turned up? Or was it like,
This was actually when I started doing Nasheeds, and I sat down and I literally performed. I went, what am I doing, man? I had to go back to music.
One man in his van, yeah.
Was he sitting there going to his son?
He was just literally, he was actually looking at me like this going,
He's saying to his son, if you don't study, yeah.
he was like,
this could happen to you. I told you to go to school, bro.
He's like, put that out
Keeping it humble, bro. That's just.
He didn't even clap, to be honest. He didn't even clap. He didn't even give me a takbir or anything.
Any Alawak bars?
No, nothing. I think the event organizer actually apologized.
Alhamdulillah, that's good though, man. It's always good, I find, that if you're going to be going anywhere, it's a good check for your own ego in the end, that does it change depending on how many people are there. And sometimes if you're giving like a talk or something, if you find that you're expecting more people, and I speak to some of the scholars, they say this, that if there's more people, they find that they're changing or they're happier, then they need to work on themselves. You know, sometimes you go to, even, look, man, the speakers circuit as well, they'll always say, we don't want to be the first speaker because there's not many people there. You know, and it's a constant struggle, whichever field you're in, because there is this part of ihsan and excellence, yeah, like you're saying that you want to be the best at what you do.
Inshallah.
And every field, alhamdulillah, I think we should always aim to be the best. This isn't this sort of counter activity between being the best and being humble.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. I think you're right, bro. I think our deen is the best, alhamdulillah. So, and it's the most excellent, subhanAllah. So we should always strive. My wife says it to me. She goes, you should always strive to be the best. And if you're in the studio with me, people come to the studio with me and they don't know nothing about what I do. And they come in and without a doubt, every single one of them will go at the end of it, we didn't know you worked this hard in the studio. Because I have to be everything. I have to be the bass guitar, I have to be the keyboard, I have to be the violin, I have to be the guitar, I have to be everything.
You didn't use me.
Three-part harmony. Vocal.
All at once.
Vocal 3-part harmony, in case some of the crazy guys come after me. So.
And you recently released a track, didn't you?
Yeah, Nikah, yeah.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah,
was that, how long were you working on that for?
I recorded that, I think, a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get with the times, man. Recently.
No, didn't you just?
No, it came out on Thursday. Yeah, it came out on Thursday, but I recorded it a year ago.
On Thursday, bro. Oh, maybe you were at Jamaat then. And was it inspired by your own marriage?
Yeah, it was. It was basically for me. Is like I remember when I was doing music as well. One of my tracks got picked up by Bollywood.
Really?
Mahesh Bhatt. And what happened was
Butts up.
He's everywhere.
Might have been your uncle. He's actually half Muslim, so who knows?
Is it?
Yeah. So he basically, but the guy who got the deal for me, he wanted me, the middleman in England, he wanted me to sign a 4-album deal with him. And my brother looked at me and my brother went to the meeting and he went, this guy's trying to trap you for one Bollywood film, bro. Allow it, it'll completely ruin. And then also I can't get a visa to India, so what was I flipping going crazy about? Pakistani origin, bro. Yeah, I tried to get a visa, they gave me a raffle ticket.
I think that's what they give you to wait in line.
No, literally we'll call you back. Never got a call back.
If you want to get into India, I've got some ways.
Really?
Yeah, you just have to pretend your name. You have to pretend your name is Balkeet Singh and do a few maneuvers on the border.
Just wear kara and everything.
Yeah,
okay.
Just turban as well.
Okay.
So do you get called for like weddings and doing events and stuff? Do you do that kind of stuff?
Called. Yeah, I get called for weddings quite.
Do you get annoyed, or is that like something you do to kind of pay the light bill and stuff?
To be honest with you, yeah. At the end of the day, it's actually also, on a serious note, it's actually really beautiful, right? It's one of the most important days today, and they want you to be a part of it. Alhamdulillah, it's quite beautiful.
Well, Omar's kid's got a birthday party coming up, and he needed a free. I'll call Zain Bik. He'll pay you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, but I mean it's something I think the community needs to support.
Definitely.
Artists. I need to. I've been looking for a millionaire to come in and go, Umer, here's £50,000. Is
that all you need?
That's what I need.
Okay. For how long? How many tracks?
It's not even tracks. Kind of a bigger kind of project. Kind of the aspect of creating a halal thing.
Okay.
That's it.
if any millionaires are watching, then
I'm your man.
we can, if you just email inquiries@islam21c.com.
Yeah.
And we just need £60,000 in order to.
I said 50. Oh, your commission. Okay,
£60,000.
Well, you should 70 then, 10 each.
Exactly.
He just comes on Tuesdays. It's okay. Yeah. So inquiries@islam21c.com if you wanna. If you're a millionaire, or even if you're not a millionaire, if you just have 60k lying around, it's for the Dawa. It's for a good purpose, inshallah.
But there is a wider message here, actually, bro. And I think, alhamdulillah, it's down to the Muslim community to support people like yourself who are trying to do things the right way. At the end of the day, it's easy to disparage someone or put them off, and we have enough armchair critics, or even if they're not critics in that sense, they're never going to do anything themselves, so they don't let people do something.
Yeah.
But I think
people need this kind of stuff.
We do. As a Muslim community, we need to come out and support it. We won't think anything of, let's be honest. Right. We won't think anything of spending 20, 30 pounds on haram entertainment.
Yeah.
Right, this is already 40, 50. Even the cricket yard, people were talking about the matches, talking about paying £250, £500 for a ticket, for a match. Honestly, bro, football matches, like, they won't think anything of it. Won't bat an eyelid. When it comes to supporting Muslims, then suddenly, like, let's negotiate.
I'll download it for free, bro.
Yeah, honestly, it's this, and I think it's a really bad characteristic of us that we want more and we want to pay less. But if a non-Muslim wants to provide the same service, we would say more than happy we'll pay the money. You know, so from different angles, I think, alhamdulillah, think big, man, and you're supporting something with khair in it. Everyone always thinks of paying for dawah or building a masjid and doing all these sorts of things. But the bricks are still there. We need to build people. We need to cater for people. We need to build societies. And this is only going to happen from supporting the people who are doing things.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
I mean, if you quickly look at one of the biggest musicians at the moment is Ed Sheeran, right?
Yeah.
When he released his last album, you know who Ed Sheeran is. When he released his last album, he's the biggest artist in the world, right? They spent millions on his marketing for his new album. He doesn't need the marketing. That's the example is that these guys invest millions in what they do, movies.
And your kids are probably listening to him.
Yeah,
at home.
They always ask me to do his covers. You know, that's the kind of aspect of that. So if we had something that people invested in and supported,
even just to do covers, man, I don't think that's such a bad thing at all.
No, I think it's a good thing.
Every nasheed doesn't have to be something overtly Islamic. Yeah. Even if, just a general...
I agree with you, but for me, as an artist, it doesn't really challenge me.
Yeah, like, creativity.
It's easy. Covers are very easy for me to do.
Just you want to do that now? Okay. Let's do it. I'll help you. Innit?
Actually, finally, my friend from America messaged me. He goes to me, my wife heard something in the restaurant. Robin Hood, the film back in the day, really old film.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, the song. Everything I do. He said to me, my wife really think, and they're a really cool couple. And I actually did it for them. And I sent it for them, yeah. And have I got it?
As in, is it for public release or is it just for them?
No, I sent it to them, but then when I heard it, I thought it sounds quite good. It's only 1 minute. So let's see.
1 minute. Have we got a minute?
Yeah,
I don't know the lyrics. I read off the paper. My memory's terrible.
Dum 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 dum.
Only if you sing the first line.
Dum 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 dum.
I don't agree with beatboxing.
That's not beatboxing, is it?
A little
That's
bit.
just
we can beatbox!
Wait till I tell my friends.
I'm only joking.
Omar Esa said I'm a beatboxer.
I'm only joking.
Safe, I appreciate that, yeah. Appreciate
I'll sing if you sing the first line.
I'm going to add that to my
that
CV
was,
now.
Stand By Me.
Yeah, it's a tune.
Remember that?
Yeah, big tune.
Is it bringing back any Jahiliyyah day memories?
I just know. I know all them songs.
What was your favourite tune?
You want to do it?
What was your favourite back in the day?
My favourite tune back in the day.
Don't ask that question, man.
No, just asking
Make
him.
him remember.
No, because it's like, of all the tunes, what was his favourite one?
I don't know.
Zain Bik.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I can't think of something that comes to mind.
What artists are you into or influenced by?
Well, I started singing because of Craig David.
Really?
Yeah.
Craig David.
I as a Craig David, actually, he's one guy always make dua for me. Allah guide him to Islam. I mean,
really?
Yeah. I wish I would love to do a track with him. No.
Didn't he do a track with
Zain Bik?
a Muslim?
No.
I'm thinking of Sting. Sting and
Yusuf.
what's his name again? Cat Stevens.
Did he?
Yusuf Islam.
Yusuf Islam, that's it, sorry.
What?
Use his
Look at you,
name.
bro.
Yeah, he did.
No, Ronan Keating did it
Ronan
with Yusuf
Keaton
Islam, yeah.
and Yusuf Islam. Yeah, Yusuf
Yusuf
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah.
And I swear when we had that back in the day, when brother was playing it, and there's a bit where he goes,
Yeah, someone else.
he says something like, it sounded like he was saying, thank Allah. And you know, when you think you hear something,
You're playing it backwards.
and he was saying, think a lot. He was saying, think a lot.
That's what
He said,
he.
"Look,
That's what you.
thank Allah. But look, he didn't play music for a long time. I think after a long time,
20 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
he picked up the guitar.
And then he started playing, yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Like,
Of course it is.
Honestly, I can understand the struggle you must have been going through.
Yeah.
And as I tell you, I openly say it to people. I go, don't think it's easy for me that I left. Every day I want to just pick my guitar up again. I don't have the guitar anymore. Go to my studio, just pick it up and start playing with the guitar and keyboards and whatever.
Yeah.
And you sometimes think the kind of stuff that's out there, you know, by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives izzah. And I'm not going to say this next bit to kind of big myself up, but when I released Nikah, alhamdulillah, it went number 1 on the iTunes world chart. And when you look at something on above all those tracks, it's the only track with no instruments on it. And it's from Allah. Allah gives you respect. Allah gives you izzah. People can't take nothing from you. Allah is the one who gives and He takes. And when you look at that, you think, Alhamdulillah, thank you, Allah. You know, it's that kind of, that's the kind of drive that you're in a world full of music, instruments, but you're still striving. You're still trying to please Allah. You're still trying to give Muslims. I get messages from mothers and fathers saying, thank you, my son doesn't listen to music, but he listens to what you do, you know? And that's the kind of thing that it gets you through, alhamdulillah. But main thing is that I don't let that get to me too much, to be honest with you, because if it doesn't come, then I don't want it to affect me.
Yeah.
So I'm very grounded in that fact that only I do it for Allah. And to be very honest with you, I'm not doing that, Nasheed, for your children. I'm doing it for Allah first. And then, inshallah, if Allah accepts, it'll come to your children and you and your elders and
I think you should still aim to be top of the game, top of the iTunes chart and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, of course, man.
The intention is because it will give a wider, impact.
Because people will look at it like everybody
it's but you have to.
Everybody in the Asian scene, who's spoken to these artists in the Asian scene in England, they all know. I'm going to speak in third person here. They all know about Omar Esa. And that is not by the chance they listen to Islamic stuff, bro. We're talking about people who don't listen to it. Yeah. But it's because I get in a position where they'll see me on the chart and they'll be like, right, who is this guy? And then they'll play it and they'll be like, this guy's praising Allah. Like, he's, and a lot of the Asian industry is full of Muslim brothers and sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
People.
Yeah, Muslims are super talented, man.
So look, bro, how can people support you?
Just go to YouTube,
Stop buying them bootleg DVDs.
Just watch the videos, man. When we release stuff, just watch them. I'm not even asking you to buy. Just watch it on YouTube, enjoy it, share it.
That's a good thing, I suppose, about stuff like YouTube and Apple Music and stuff, because anyone can.
Exactly.
It's like less of a barrier to entry, isn't it? Getting a record label and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So just support like that.
And if people want to book you for their private events, etc.
Yeah.
We already said they just need to email inquiries@islamtwenty.com and we'll take care of the rest.
Brother, Dr. Salman Bhatt is my new manager.
Yeah, you heard it.
He will deal with everything.
No takes.
But only if we get that 60 grand though, yeah?
I just muted his mic by accident. Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, only if we get that money. Just you can find me
I'm going to raise it now.
You can find anywhere online. You can find me anywhere online. All the information is online. You type in Omar Esa, they'll find out whether if they want to book me, they'll find me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of bookings from Islamic schools?
I do go to Islamic schools quite a bit, weddings and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah. And maybe this is a bit out there, and cut it if we don't want it. If somebody wanted to sponsor you to go somewhere, is that possible?
What does that mean?
So, for example, going to schools, all of this, like, this is what you do full time, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, this is full time, and sometimes you may want to go to schools and they can't always necessarily afford it, and whatever the scheme that you have. But if somebody wants to do some khair to help you, to help the schools more than you, is that something you're open to?
Bro, I would love it if somebody came and said, Umer, here, I'm going to give you this package. I want you to tour every Muslim school across England. I'll do it. I'll love it. I'll do it because I can do workshops. What I do in workshops is I make them write a song. So we put words on the wall, and then they pick a word.
That's where you get your lyrics from.
Yeah, I make the kids. I'm like the Nasheed Grinch. So yeah.
Nice lyrics.
Listen out for it. Listen out for it. His next Nasheed. Yeah.
Help us. Play it backwards. Help us. Trapped against our will.
I make them sign contracts on it. So yeah, so I would love to do that. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought that to me, that'd be amazing. You know what's really sad? I'm not going to mention the Islamic school, but I actually offered to go there. I offered to give all their students. It was a Darul Uloom school. Right? I offered to give them all our albums free, speak to them about music, and they go no.
They have to do it under national curriculum, don't they? They have to do some kind of music, don't they? So it's better to get someone who's not using instruments.
Yeah. And I said, out of school, out of school time, I'll come. All your kind of youth, speak to them about music, the dangers of music, and literally, the guy I spoke to, he goes, they won't do it. And I was like, it's really sad. I thought to myself, subhanAllah, like, where do you go to? Like, what do you want us to do?
It depends though. If it's like, if you're bringing people who would never be into that anyway, and introducing them to Nasheeds, maybe that's an arguable thing. Like, if it's like a proper hardcore madrasa.
Yeah, but
if it's a generic thing, then definitely.
You know, the mad thing is, I went to a madrasa in Bolton about a month ago, and what happened was I was performing at the wedding hall that I did nikah, and the brother who runs it came, and he goes, "Bro, the kids love you here. Can I take you to my madrasa?" And I was like, I can't say no to people when they ask me. So I went, okay, we'll go. And I went there. There was about 100 kids there. I asked the question. I always ask this question. I go, who listens to music here? Every single one of them put their hand up.
Astaghfirullah.
I was baffled, man. I've never seen that, because in the beginning, I never witnessed that, because I used to go and no one every single one of them put their hand up. And I went to the kids. I went, this is what I say to the kids. They're very innocent kids. And I went, kids, can I ask you a question? Do you love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? They all put their hands up. Yeah, we do. I said, if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked into the room when you were listening to music, what would you do? We'll turn it off. Why? Because he doesn't. I went, well, do you not want to follow his sunnah? And they all just look at you like, this guy. You know that kind of look at you evil guy. I'm definitely not going to listen to your Nasheeds. I'm going to listen to Zain Bik.
SubhanAllah. But this is, look, man, I think that I've also seen over the last decade or so, there's been more of an increase in musicals, if that makes sense. I don't know if you've noticed that as well. That films are coming out which have more music in them. They've had shows on that sort of really promote singing and dancing, and even now with these sort of competitions that they have, it's a lot more about singing and dancing, these type of things. So when somebody who's coming with a halal alternative, and this is why I was saying the point earlier actually, that if there are, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed our collective community with wealth. We know this, and we need to think outside of the box on how do we uplift our community. And if there is a way where someone can kind of help you to do that and go and deliver this into schools, because look, a lot of the Muslim schools, they don't have that much money if they're private, etc. Then they should really do it. I say that, look, whoever's listening to this, if you've got some money and you want to give sadaqah in a different way, because alhamdulillah, there are all these different causes, but the wise person is the one who, for want of a better term, spread bets. And so you put money in different ways. You put money in different ways. This is maybe one thing that they can cause, and you can save someone's life from going down a path they shouldn't do. And we're protecting our children in their fitrah.
That's why we're launching this boy band. No strings attached. It's a very, very important thing, close to my heart.
Which will also be the name of our first track, Close to My Heart.
It's a good chorus name, actually. It's a good track name.
Shall we end with the song?
This guy, I think so, definitely. How can we have the?
We can't have him and not have him on a song, man.
Exactly.
Which one would you like me to do?
No, not you. All of us.
Sorry. Should we do Close to My Heart? Should we make up a Close to My Heart?
I'm not good at writing. There's no kids to forced to write lyrics here.
What should we do? What's your favourite, Nasheed, out of all the ones that you've done? Have you got a favourite? They like your
just
children.
do a cover. Stand By Me. Do you remember the lyrics?
I just know literally when the night, just that bit. When the night has come. That's it.
Oh, you can be the backup singer then.
Yeah.
What about that track? Michael Jackson.
Oh, what a tune.
We still miss you.
Oh, God.
We still love you.
Someone played me that. That's shocking.
Michael Jackson. Or the original that he was famous for.
One pound fish?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Pakistani. I was shocked.
Yeah.
What do you think it was?
I thought he was Bengali.
Ah, the fish, yeah. Look at you.
No, my wife's Bengali, so I'm all good. I can be racist a bit sometimes.
Have a look. Have a look.
1 pound fish.
Fish today, 1 pound.
1 pound fish.
1 pound fish. 1 pound
Was it
fish.
6 4
Very,
5
very cheap. Very, very cheap. 1 pound fish.
You got a good tone, bro.
1 pound fish.
Hold on, bro. You got a good
Very,
tone.
very cheap. What does that mean?
You got a
Very,
good tone. Your
very
voice sounds
cheap,
nice.
Cheap. Thank you. I
All
was
he
in a
does is sing,
choir.
bro. Don't tell him that, bro. Do you know how unbearable he's going to make everyone else's life?
Is he a bathroom singer?
What's it called again?
You
No
probably
strings
put that
attached.
toilet out there in the middle of East London just so you can sit on it and start singing.
Busking.
No,
in
it's
the
a
toilet.
shower, bro. It's a shower, not the toilet, man.
Yeah,
okay.
instead of
Showers, they have
busking.
the showers. You sound good in the shower because of the frequency
Yeah,
and
the
bouncing off the
acoustics,
acoustics.
Yeah, it's if
43 kilohertz and all that.
When he's busking, he's called a busker. But all we say is, oh, busker!
Okay, yeah. Well.
No, so which one we're going to do? What is your favourite?
just
Let's
did
go
one.
with- No. What's your favourite, Omar?
It's a new one I've recently done called Astaghfirullah. Forgive me, Allah.
Did it come to mind when you did this podcast while you're sat here?
Yeah, it did.
I just made up the words now.
I'm like, glad we could inspire you like that.
That's what we're here for, bro.
Yeah.
20%.
I'll be
Go
doing
for it, bro.
tonight.
Let's listen to it, man.
Oh, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't know if you need. I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, I can do this. This is what I do. So, to be honest with you,
Right.
Bro,
That's-
man sings mashallah 20,000 people, and like if we put him on the spot,
So,
like then
there's no balloons here, though, man.
this is actually the second smallest crowd I've ever performed in front of.
Not with all of our dozens of viewers at home.
Yeah, true. So would you
yeah,
seriously?
please, bro. Let's go for it.
Okay, bismillah. I've been waiting, I've been hurting, 'cause I've been falling. I need your help. My heart is breaking, so tired of crying. Lord, I'm calling. I need your help. I don't wanna fight no more. I don't wanna fight this war. Oh na na, oh na na, oh na na na. I don't wanna fight no more. I don't wanna fight this war. Oh na na, oh na na. Hey, Astaghfirullah.
That's the only time I've ever been a backup singer, so you're welcome.
That's actually good. I don't know how you guys even got the kind of right key and all that.
It's 43 kilohertz.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing, we work in 43 kilohertz
it,
here,
bro.
none of that 44.
If
rubbish,
that
man.
tune made it, you know what I mean? We don't, I'm not humble like that.
Yeah,
Still.
you can.
Mashallah.
It's the least we could do for our gracious guests.
So what's the theme of that tune? Like,
Do you know, bro, the thing is that
It's not a tune.
every day I kind of like, it's that kind of struggle of literally trying to ask Allah, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please forgive me. People don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I've got many flaws, my king. I'm trying to be a better man. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm just trying to live my life. Like, I've come from such a dark place, from Jahiliyyah, that I'm now trying to just be a better human being. I've got so many flaws, and forgive me, Allah, like, sometimes you get a bit down and you get depressed.
Yeah.
And also it was for brothers and sisters who get depressed. It's the kind of fact, it's the fact that you have friends, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your only true friend. Friends will come and go, wives will come and go, husbands will come and go, and parents will come and go. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never leave you. And that kind of aspect, oh Allah, please keep repentance on my tongue.
Ameen.
Every other word that I say, please Allah, allow me to say astaghfirullah, ask for your forgiveness.
Excellent. Jazakallah khair, bro. I'm very
fikum.
keen to make sure we get to the kebab shop before it shuts. So I don't want to take more of your time. It's about time we fed him, our gracious guest, mashallah. Jazakallah khair, brothers and sisters, for watching, listening at home, or wherever you are. You've been listening to the Sound Truancy Unscripted podcast with your hosts, Omar Suleman,
Salman, but
And we've been trying out an audition for our background singer.
Yeah.
His name is Omar Esa. Very humble guy, mashallah. Let us know in the comments if you think we should employ him. He's a good, he's okay singer, mashallah. You can give him a shot. Or if you have any better background singers in mind, then give us a shout. If you like the podcast, give it a like and a share. And yeah.
And if there's any fathers out there who've got young kids who want to invite Omar Esa in Bradford to sing in Nasheed, then make sure.
I want to find that uncle.
Make sure you got a balloon.
That uncle with his kid in his balloon. I want to find that uncle.
That was a good balloon.
Just so you can pop the balloon.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Omar, Jazakallah, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Allah
Thank you, my
bless
brothers.
man.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Barakallahu feekum. Thanks.
And he doesn't have soft hands.
He has a soft voice, mashallah.
Mashallah.